The minimal extravagance hybrid descriptor is not really sufficiently clear for Land Rover's Range Rover Velar. The SUV is on the extensive side of that class and looks it, estimating barely short of the average size Range Rover Sport in each measurement. The Velar's outsize extravagance and smooth style additionally lift its station above staider and littler deals chasers, for example, Audi's Q5 and the BMW X3. Simply don't call the Velar fat despite the fact that it is substantial at 4,676 pounds, it's all the more huge-boned. Actually, underneath its sleeker, low rooftop go up against Range Rover's Mark rectilinear styling sits the same hefty size design that supports Jaguar's F-Pace. In any case, Land Rover tunes the majority of the Jag's physicality out of the body, despite the fact that we're alright with that, especially on an extravagance disapproved of SUV. In any case, the Velar's ride could be diminished only a smidge further to coordinate the dealing with's casual vibe. There are 3 motor decisions, none of which emerges as a runaway must-have. Base models utilize a 247 HP turbocharged inline-4 and convey the P380 moniker, meaning they're 250-ish, torque and P for oil, fuel, hunger. We presently can't seem to test a P350, yet we've driven one and it doesn't move the Velar with much verve. A 180 HP turbo diesel 4-chamber that flies under the D180 flag is discretionary, and it is significantly more drowsy than the P350. At long last, there is the 380 HP supercharged fuel V6 tried here, which gets the assignment P380. In spite of the fact that the 6 is utilized as a part of other Jaguar Land Rover items, in the Velar it does not have the sweet fumes note it displays in other JLR applications. And keeping in mind that a significant part of the tire, wind, and suspension commotions don't enter the lodge, the V6's grungy sounds figure out how to infiltrate its firewall. A full throttle race to roadway speeds throws together an incredible clamor from the motor, and you'll get the feeling that even this range-topping V6 and its specialist 8-speed programmed transmission were to move the strong SUV. Without a doubt, the Velar, at 5.7 seconds to 60 miles per hour, is a critical 0.6 seconds slower than its mechanical twin, the Jaguar F-Pace S. This Range Rover additionally restored a disillusioning 17 mpg by and large amid our test. We propose grasping the Velar's casual driving air while investing energy appreciating the shocking inside. Present day and all around designated, the lodge is collected from astounding materials consolidated and executed in novel ways. Take, for instance, the entryway trim, which is accessible in average materials, for example, wood or aluminum, however is joined in the recessed piece of the entryway boards nearby the elbow rests. Indeed, even with all that, whatever remains of the inside is eclipsed in wow factor via Land Rover's all-new double-show infotainment framework, InControl Touch Pro Duo. The framework expels almost every major physical catch in the lodge, put something aside for the fog light switch, the transmission's revolving handle adapt selector, and the window switches. Outwardly, this is an overthrow. The 2 shiny 10-inch touchscreens, which are increased by the Velar's standard computerized measure group, look unfathomable. The upper screen principally handles sound, route, and settings capacities, while the lower shows swaps between atmosphere controls and driving mode settings. It's all dazzling to observe, however a dull shadow of perplexity draws over the presentations with regards to their boggling configurability. For reasons unknown, one can set the 2 showcases and the measure group to indicate current sound data or a telephone menu all the while. On the other hand, one can pull up a route outline the upper focal screen and in one of 4 areas in the measure bunch, left of a focal tachometer, right of that tachometer, incorporated between a tachometer and speedometer, or full width over the whole show. Those 4 spaces additionally can play host to sound, telephone, and different menus. With time, proprietors will probably become used to the menus or just set, or have the merchant alter, them to their loving and never upset them again. Likewise the multi-function turning handles inserted in the lower screen, which contingent upon what menu the lower screen is set to can possibly adjust each front situate atmosphere zone's temperature, fan speed, situate warm or, ventilation levels, and driver's side just browse among the Velar's 6 driving modes. Hopping from one change in accordance with alternate requires more catch presses than appears to be important. Need to change the warmed seat while the driving mode menu is dynamic? Tap an alternate way tab at the highest point of the screen to hop over into the atmosphere menu. At that point press the rotating dial to change it to situate warm modification. You'll likely need to do this while the auto is ceased. More awful than the screen's ergonomic imperfections are their periodically ease back and conflicting reactions to touch inputs. This is a feedback we've already leveled at different JLR infotainment frameworks. Maybe the Velar's most noteworthy trap is that it doesn't forfeit common sense on the sacrificial stone of style. Despite the fact that the inside isn't as huge as the Velar's outside measurements recommend, it is helpful and spacious. Much appreciated to a limited extent to the abundant back shade, there is a class driving 34 cubic feet of freight space behind the second push seats. Also, Land Rover even keenly introduces a switch in the freight territory for bringing down the air suspension, on models so prepared, relieving the Velar's fairly high lift-over stature. Infotainment getting teeth issues aside, the Velar is fruitful at its main goal of feeling like a genuine extravagance great, it's an agreeable, appealing thing that looks extravagant. What's more, it can truly nail that last piece, particularly the P380 adaptation. Advance up the trim level step to our Test Auto's R-Dynamic House spec, and you're confronting a $78,095 charge before including any choices. That is far from the base, $50,895 Velar P250, also the $65,195 Velar SP380, the least expensive approach to get the V6. Obviously, our test vehicle conveyed a couple of alternatives over the R-Dynamic House trim $11,565 worth, including a $3,060, 1600 watt Meridian sound framework, a $1,125 locking back differential, the $1,380 expanded cowhide bundle, $870 for 4-zone programmed atmosphere control, and a $580 on/off-road bundle with rough terrain particular driving modes. Whatever is left of the cost was tied up in more pleasant floor mats, surrounding inside lighting, a R-Dynamic black outside trim bundle, a warmed windshield, and other arranged knickknacks. Scratch some of those talents, and you'll get a similar high style for marginally less.